Today's video is a little bit different. We are not talking about writing. We're not talking about reading. We're not talking about publishing or editing. We're talking about motherhood. I haven't done a motherhood video in quite a while, and today I am going to give some confessions, so stay tuned. Welcome to The Right Mama. My name is Jennifer Aline. I am a freelance writer, the mother of twin girls, and my debut novel, That Age, is coming out before the end of 2020. A lot has gone on this year, and in my life, a lot has gone on in the last few years. I have twin girls who are 2.5 years old, and I'd always wanted to be a mother. I've always wanted a family. I've always, wanted 2 to 3 kids, and from a young age, I knew I wanted to be a mom. However, there's more to motherhood than just wanting to be a mom. Today, I am going to give you a few confessions because going into motherhood, I felt pretty dang left out when it came to a lot of the emotions I was feeling. And as I've grown into the mom I am, the person I am now, I've learned that I'm not by myself, but it's taken a while to get to this point. I'm surrounded by a lot of really positive mother figures who are very confident. They don't really show a lot of the deep emotions they're feeling. They make motherhood seem like it's joyous and wonderful and great all the time. In reality, it can be crazy. Today, I'm going to confess a few things that may make other moms out there feel a little bit less lost when it comes to being a mom, knowing they're not alone with some of these emotions they may be feeling. The first confession I'm going to make is I did not feel that initial bond with my girls. This was a very frustrating and very hard truth and reality for me to face because I was asked by everybody, do you feel connected to your girls? Do you feel that bond? Do you really though? And it would be questioned quite often. And of course, when you're a new mom and you have these adorable little newborns that you're caring for, as well as the hormones making you crazy, you're going to nod and say, oh yeah, I love them, because you do love your children. But it's different. There's a different connection, the cliche connection that people talk about. And I didn't feel that. It took about 7 or 8 months as a mom caring 24/7 for my twin infants before I felt some kind of connection. And I started feeling it after I collapsed on my girls' nursery floor, bawling my eyes out at like 4 in the morning. I felt like I was the only person in the world that did these kind of things, that cried constantly, cried because I couldn't figure out how much formula to give my girls because I'm bad at math, because the mac and cheese fell out of the cupboard along with all the other cans just collapsing on the floor. Cried because I didn't want a nurse and I felt guilty all the time. But let's go back to the confession. I also was very emotional because I wanted to bond with my girls. And I didn't feel that for a long time. And I'd always wanted to be a mom. I'd always wanted to be a great role model and feel connected, and I didn't. But I'm here to say that it's okay if you don't feel that right away. Care about yourself too. Care about your mind. And the more you work on yourself, you will feel connected to your kid or kids. 2 is a doozy to say out loud for a lot of moms, but I don't enjoy motherhood all the time. I don't run around 24/7 smiling and loving my kids and loving all of their tears and clinginess and goofiness and whining. I don't love it all the time. And a lot of people think that when you're a mom, you have to love it all the time. You have to express how much you adore being a mom and how it's everything and how that's who you are. And yes, you can love being a mom, but you can also admit that you're not always happy, and it's okay to admit that. It is really hard for me to sometimes say that I don't always want to be a mom all the time, and I want to take a step back, and I want to have time for me, and I want to do it without feeling selfish. And I think there's a lot of moms out there who are afraid to admit that. And honestly, there's a lot of influencers on Instagram. I will put some pictures and links over here to some amazing ones that really kind of opened my eyes, made me realize, okay, I'm not the only one who's feeling this. Thank goodness they're putting themselves out there, because I felt like I had to love it all the time and really face your feelings, confront your emotions, and be one with yourself, because re is another hard one to admit. But sometimes I miss my pre-motherhood life, and a lot of moms have a hard time with this one as well. And then didn't expect it. And a lot of moms get pregnant unexpectedly. I was right in the middle of living a very independent single life, working 9 to 5, writing at coffee shops at night, doing some aerial once and a few times a week. I was in a very confident, positive place. And a lot happened very quickly. There was a big family thing that happened unexpectedly. And then I got pregnant unexpectedly. And then my boyfriend went for a training for a few months during my pregnancy. And then I got back issues and I had to be on disability from my job. And then I had to move twice. Picture. There was a lot going on. Happened. I wasn't prepared mentally. I wasn't prepared physically for what was going to happen to my body, even though all my life I wanted to be a mom. And I think that that can be very hard for people, because they think that because they always want to be a mom that they'll be prepared. Never prepared fully to be a mom. Surprises happen all the time. Sometimes I miss being able to just up and leave and go in my car without having to pack my purse, pack the girls' bag, make sure I have extra diapers, make sure I have lots of wipes, make sure I have snacks so they don't go crazy, extra clothes in case something happens. Sometimes I do miss just being able to up and go without having to think about a bazillion different things. Sometimes I wish I could just say, hey, I'm going to go do this or I'm going to do that, and be able to go by myself. And all of this doesn't mean I don't love my girls. That is the most important thing, is a lot of parents are afraid to admit this because they think people will automatically judge them and think they don't love their children. That's not the case. It also isn't selfish. You need to care about yourself. I say this all the time, and it took a lot for me to, again, be able to admit that. But you need to care about yourself, take time for yourself, and not be afraid to do it. You need to work on you. You are a mom, but you're also your own person first. And when you are feeling positive and confident with the person you are, you'll be able to be a better mom for your children. A last confession that I'm going to make today is I am still transitioning. My girls are 2.5 years old. I am still transitioning into this new life that I jumped into about 3 years ago. 3 years ago at this time, I was pregnant. Happened then that I am still facing a lot of those demons. Sometimes people expect you just to bounce right into motherhood and fully embrace it and take on all those new changes and new tasks and new, the whole new lifestyle, as if it was what you lived before, when it was not at all. And they expect it to happen quickly, when if you're somebody who is not good with change, or if you're somebody who's got mental health demons that you struggle with, it's not easy to transition from single independent life to motherhood when you weren't expecting it, or when a lot of things happened. It's okay if the transition takes a long time. Really guilty for still feeling as if I'm kind of transitioning into motherhood almost 3 years later. But I need to be kind to myself. I need to allow myself to realize that change takes time. And if I am kind to myself, my mental health will be better, and then I will be able to better care for my children. And change never stops. Life is full of changes. Every step of motherhood is different, and change will be continuous for the rest of my life. Transition for the past 3 years is still, it's still very hard for me to face. I need to be able to embrace the transition and realize it's going to take time. And as I heal from all of the changes that I'm still struggling with, more changes will go on top of that. And I need to be able to sit back and realize it's okay to take a while to heal from those changes, especially with mom. You have it. There were some confessions from this lovely writer mom right here. And I did this video because one, I hadn't done a motherhood video in quite a while, and two, because I have been able to relate so much to a lot of people I see on social media who, I mean, they're influencers, they're people who are known, who have bazillion followers, who put themselves out there. And I am really thankful that a lot of those people have put themselves out there because, like I said, I'm surrounded by, I feel like, a lot of friends who are very confident, or at least they put on a confident facade that motherhood is joyous 100% of the time. There are challenges. The people who have put themselves out there. And I just wanted to put some of my thoughts out there as well, because a lot of people are afraid to think and feel these things, and you should not be afraid of those thoughts and feelings. If you're a mom, there's a lot going on. It's a big change, and if you thought you were ready, you probably weren't as ready as you thought, because that little kid is gonna throw some craziness at you when you least expect it. But that's just listening to this little motherhood madness, motherhood mayhem video. If you liked this kind of content, subscribe below, hit the thumbs up button, throw me a comment if you related to any of these feelings, if you had anything else. Stay creative, stay freaking strong and sane, moms, and if you don't got coffee, drink the wine.